Shalom, shalom, Israel, shalom. It's Brother Riot. I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh by Shema Mashiach Malaki Abushai. Another strong shalom to all of the mighty brothers that go out there and labor on the highways and byways, making their body a living sacrifice. In the rain, the tumults, the demons, the uprises, the uproars, they're out there standing 10 toes down for the name of the Lord. Another strong shalom to all of the mighty brothers that are not out there as of yet, but they're building themselves up by reading, praying, fasting, being diligent, steadfast. They're on fire. They're doing the work of the Lord. Another strong shalom to all of the mighty aquaf in this thing that actually reverence their husbands, being teachers of good things to the children at home, being quiet, shamefaced, submissive, loving, steadfast, cooking, sewing, cleaning, doing all of the righteous acts of our foremothers, standing 10 toes down in the name of the Lord. Another strong shalom to all of the aquaf that are not married as of yet, but they're building themselves up by reading, praying, and fasting, being diligent and steadfast. Another strong shalom to all of the mighty children that are zealous, abstaining from all lust, concupiscence, and peer pressure in the world, standing 10 toes down for the name of Yahweh Shah the righteous. Now, this is going to be a breakdown on world news, man, because you have to be watching. In the last days, the Lord requires you to watch, right? And we're going to get a precept on that. Salaki, bear with me. I'm going to share my screen. Right? And Lord willing, brothers can see the screen. So the Lord commands you to watch all throughout the Bible. If you're not watching, you're not going to understand what's taking place upon the earth. And it's going to catch you like a thief in the night. That's not always just talking about World War III. It's going to catch you like a thief in the night. It's not always talking about the day of the Lord, man. Because inflation can catch you like a thief in the night. Famine can catch you like a thief in the night. Losing jobs, security, understanding, all of these things, the famine of the word, the Bible's being banned. All of these things could catch you like a thief in the night. It says what? Mark chapter 13 and 33. It says, take heed and watch and pray, for ye know not when the time is. For the Son of Man is as a man taking a far journey, who left his house and gave authority to his servants, and every man his work, and commanded the porter to watch. It says he commanded. So everybody want to talk about commandments. Oh, it has to be in the first 5 books. Oh, it has to be this. It has to be that. Well, the Lord, Yahweh Shah, commanded you to watch. Are you watching in the last days? Or are you just getting on watching videos, man? Watching people shake the hand of the so-called white man? Or are you just content with that little notification coming to your phone, man? From Google. Or from End Time Headlines once a day. Or from the Washington Post newspaper, man, when you go to work, sipping your coffee. Are you literally watching? Are you trying to figure out what's going on in Ukraine, Russia, China, Taiwan, US, foreign relations, economic strategies, and different things that's going on with the BRICS Alliance, right? The African Union, the Arab League, right? The UN, the EU, and all of these confederacies, the NATO, all of these different alliances. You have to be watching, man. You have to literally be watching like you're literally looking for a reward, man. It says what? Watch ye therefore, for ye know not when the master of the house cometh, at even, at midnight, or at cockcrowing. So the Lord can catch you when the sun going down, in the middle of the night, or early in the morning, man. Or in the morning. So, I mean, it says what? Lest coming suddenly he find you sleeping. Now, that's not physical, meaning you was in the world shooting dice, man. Although it could be applicable for that, breakdown, but nevertheless, it's more spiritual. Who is the Lord talking to? He's talking to his chosen, man. He's not talking to the nigga that's already asleep in the world, that never woke up. You woke up. You have understanding. You came out the grave. The Lord said, lest coming, he should find you asleep. That's in your sins and your understanding of God knows what, and your doctrines, and your laziness, and your slothfulness. It says, and what I say unto you, I say unto all, watch. So the Lord commanded man to watch upon the earth, man. It's very important in the last days and crucial for understanding. All right, let's kick it off. Now, we're just going to jump into a lot of world news of what's going on in the earth, right? This is end time headlines. And if you may be new, you may say, well, I don't know how to watch. Where do I look? Where do I go? What do I do? This is a list of different things that you could go to and sources and sites to further edify yourself on world news and what's going on with alliances, wars, bombs, foreign relations, and all of these different things, man. You got insider paper. So if you got Twitter or got internet, hop on, man. It says insider paper. If you did not know about it, well, now you know. Get your pen and write these things down. Insider paper. BNO News. BNO News. You got conflict news, end time headlines. That's what we on right now. You got Disclosed TV. Disclosed TV. BBC breaking news. NBC News. CBS News. Washington Post. DEFCON warning systems. And that's all about missiles and different things that they shoot out concerning the US, man. You got breaking 911 news. You got CNN. You got all of these other places that you can go to for further understanding too, like Fox 5, right? Channel 9 News, and other places like that. But chiefly those ones that I gave you are going to break down and show you things that is not going to be seen on regular TV. Explosions, bombs, missile testings, and further things that are going to keep you updated throughout the day on a constant motion. You don't want to wait till you get home from work and it's 9 o'clock, man, at night. You trying to figure out a scramble on the news to what's going on when it could be dropped straight to your phone in the bat of an eye, right? So this is what's going on. Chinese officials warn airlines to avoid airspace near Taiwan. So if you're not watching and you don't know what's going on, man, China is trying to bomb Taiwan. It's an uproar. All hell was breaking loose. You understand? Now, for people that may not know what's going on with China and Taiwan and US and things like that, we're going to go into it, right? Now, US-Taiwan relations. Because you may say, well, why is US stepping in? What does this have to do with anybody? Every one of these nations, they have an alliance, right? Now, I'm going to do a further breakdown and expound on the different alliances, on another cold cut. But nevertheless, for now, you have the allies of the United States, which would be Canada, India, Ireland, right? It would be Brazil, South Africa, Australia, the UK, Switzerland, Australia, Sweden, Japan, right? South Korea, Norway, Thailand, the Philippines, Germany, Spain, Italy, New Zealand, right? Peru, Argentina, Iceland, Chile, the Netherlands, France, Mexico, Vietnamese, Cambodia, Indonesia, Israel, and then you have Taiwan. So these are allies with the United States. Now, every ally does not have to do with war. You may have certain allies that are economic allies. You may have food and different resources that they do trade with, and they help with one another in science, education, technology, right? Power, strategies coming together, forming an understanding to push forward as two different nations under one accord. And then you have the enemies of US, right? Now, the enemies of the so-called United States are Iran, Syria, Iraq, Afghanistan, right? Pakistan, Russia, China, North Korea, Libya, Arabia, right? Southern Sudan, Yemen, right? Cuba, Afghanistan, which are chiefly China and Russia, the ones that have ICBM missiles. Then you have the dragons of Arabia and the so-called Middle East. And all of this is in prophecy. You literally have the dragons of Arabia is going to rage war and kick off World War III. You're literally going to have Russia, which is going to be the last of the beast at the feet of the bear. You understand? Then you're going to have China in a mix that's already confederate with Russia, with Iran, with Afghanistan, with Pakistan, with all of these different dragons of Arabia that are going to wage war. So alliances, leagues, confederations, these things are important dealing with prophecy, man. This is US-Taiwan relation. A leading democracy and a technological power, how Taiwan is a key US partner in Indo-Pacifics. Though the United States does not have diplomatic relationships with Taiwan, we have a robust unofficial relationship. The United States and Taiwan are similar values, deeper commercial and economic links. So you can have economic links, man. I may be a confederate with this brother over here. Why? Because he may have bread. This brother may have baskets and things like that. He may have a donkey. He may have cattle. And in exchange, I may have a well where I could pump water. You understand? I may have XYZ, and we do trade with one another. I may have wool and flax and different things to sew to make garments and to clothe yourself, which makes us what? Allies. Every ally is in an alliance to go to war with or have war with, right? It says, and strong people to people ties, which from the bedrock our friendship has served as impetus for expanding U.S. engagement with Taiwan. Check this out. Though the American Institute in Taiwan, AIT, a non-governmental organization mandated by the Taiwan Relations Act to carry out the United States' unofficial relationships with Taiwan, our cooperation with Taiwan continues to expand. Taiwan has become as important U.S. partner in trade. So that's the relationship. They became a very close partner to U.S. in trade and investments, health, right? Semiconductor and other critical supply chains, right? So if you cut off my bread and I'm allies with a brother, all hell is going to break loose, man. I'm going to be angry and upset and damn near are going to want to help whatever's going on if my bread gets cut short, man. And check that out. So if I don't have any bread or anything to feed my children and myself, I'm going to be upset and all hell is going to break loose, man. So it says semiconductor and other critical supply chains, investments, screening, science and technology, education, and advanced democratic values. So all of these different things make what? America and Taiwan on one accord. It makes them have a relationship. Now, you may ask yourself, well, what does China have to do with this? And you have to understand world news. You have to understand alliances. You have to understand confederacies. You have to understand these different nations. You don't want to be that Jake. He's sitting up in there. I don't care. It's just death to the so-called white man and nothing else. All I want to read is the book of Obadiah all day. Well, brother, you're not going to understand Obadiah. Obadiah is extremely deep when you go into it, man. It's not just talking about, damn, Joseph is going to be a flame, man. It's deeper than that, right? It dives into a lot of relations and a lot of things that are going to have Esau divided, as one nation. You understand, under Esau. Nevertheless, I want to go into, right, Salakia. I got a couple things I want to pull up through the spirit. So you got his economic relations. You got foreign representations. You got science, technology, and corporations, people-to-people ties, and Taiwan's role in intercontinental, right, international community. Now, this is a map of China and Taiwan. Now, China is right next door to Taiwan, right? Exaggerating greatly, but you literally could jump from Taiwan, if you were an Israelite, all the way to China. You got Hong Kong. This is on the map. So China is one of the biggest empires on the earth, which would be like a mountain in the scriptures. Then you would have Taiwan, which would be like a lower hill. You understand? Now I want to get this real fast. So you have an EU, right? Right. Let me get this real quick. And you have something that's called United Nations. Now, the United Nations are under 193 members that sit down and they council daily. And their main goal is for peace on the earth. But there's not going to be any peace on the earth. These different nations, they come together and they sit down and they talk about peace, how they cannot be war, how they cannot be an uprising of the people. But what happens if Taiwan joins NATO, man? Because NATO is a powerhouse, right? And NATO is a military alliance, right? And NATO has 30 members. Under Article 5, as brothers should know by now, an act on one is an act on all out of 14 articles of NATO. Now we're not going to dive too deep necessarily, but we're going to read this. It says Russia-Ukraine conflict, where the aggressor is blaming the NATO enlarged program as a renewed focus of Chinese-Taiwan relationships. Although Taiwan is an independent country, they don't want it to be an independent country. They want to take it down. So the same way Russia was trying to bully and take down Ukraine, and America kind of stepped in, it's the same way China is doing the same thing to Taiwan. It seems very similar. And you have to understand that China and Russia are allies together. They're war allies, right? When you go to the let me get this real fast. Let me hold that. I'm gonna come back to it. Now you have something called BRICS. And BRICS stand for Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, right? Now you will have alliance called BRICS. And you will have these different nations confederate one against another. Look at it, all holding hands. So China and Russia are allies, right? You also have the CISTO alliance. Now, we're not going to dig too deep into all of these different alliances, but nevertheless, they're confederate one with another. And China does not want Taiwan to continue to have its independence. China considers it a part of its territory. So how are you going to consider some land that's not yours a part of its territory just because it's right around there? And they're just so big and masking that they just want to take it down and rule it and conquer it. So that's literally the confliction of what's going on. Now, I want to dive straight into it. Now, China is literally conducting, China is literally conducting, as we speak, military conduct long range live fire drills targeting destined areas on the eastern part of Taiwan, straight after Pelosi's visit, man. So they literally told him straight up and down, if you literally go on that plane trip, cross borders over our waters into our territory, that we're going to start conducting military drills to get ready for war, man. So just like in a fight, somebody may tell you, look, you better not do this, you better do that, or else. And then the person do it again, and somebody take out their gun. They didn't shoot anybody yet, but they took their strap out. That's the same thing as showing these missiles, man. Testing them off, getting ready for all hell to break loose. So if you don't know, we go out to play it. So they testing out these missiles. All right. Now check this out. One of the sources, you got BNO News. China closing some areas near Taiwan to planes and ships conduct important military exercises, including live fire drills. We just looked at the live fire drills. You understand? Now, those live fire drills and them encamping right around his territory. Now look how they surrounding Taiwan, man. So China is not playing no games, man. A lot of people think this thing is a game. This thing isn't a game. Let's go to the book of Chronicles, Second Chronicles. It's the book of Second Chronicles, chapter 15. It's the book of Second Chronicles, right? Chapter 15 and verse number 5, and it reads. It says, in those times there was no peace to him that went out, nor to him that came in. But great vexations were upon all the inhabitants of the countries. And that's what's going on right now, man. There's great vexations upon all the inhabitants of the countries. Name one country right now that's just chilling. You got Russia, one of the biggest land masses on the earth, in talks of war and testing missiles. You have China, one of the biggest land masses on the earth, in talks with them war, man, and all hell breaking loose. You literally got America in talks with war, right? Hey, America, we're gonna get into that too. So-called Joe Biden, he just put out a hit and killed one of their prime men that was under so-called Bin Laden, man, and that just happened. So he's bombing all the way in Iran and all of these different places, and America still sits undefiled without being touched. Hey, the whole world is in an uprise with commotions of war, man. ICBM missiles talk and nukes and warheads. It says, and nation was destroyed of nation, and city of city, and God did vex them with all adversary, man. So the Lord's vexing them. The Lord's stirring up the earth. The Lord's having all of these things come to pass, man. This isn't a game. War is on the rise, man. And the Lord set it up that way. All the books of the Bible, you understand, talk about Yahushua. You got the Old Testament going into war. You understand slavery. That's a part of the Bible. Let's go to, right? Let me get this real fast. Let me come back to this. Salaki, bear with me. So this is Joe Biden, right? Happened about 2 days ago. Biden U.S. strikes kill Allah, right? Al-Qaeda leader Aman La Zawalia, right? Yara, right? Damn Arab, man. But Biden is putting out strikes on the earth, man. So while he's sitting up there with his old hands, smiling and laughing and coughing and tripping up and trying to stay alive and eating his applesauce at night, he's putting out strikes on the earth, man. You think these nations are going to be okay with America continuing invading their land, kicking down their doors? Hey, the Lord said he keepeth not at home, man, in the book of Habakkuk. Let me get that real fast. Let's go to Habakkuk, the second chapter. So the so-called white man in America, they do not keep at home. They're invading lands. They're in people's territories. They're killing presidents, prime ministers. You understand? Killing their priest on the left-hand side. So all hell was breaking loose, man. It's the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, right? Salaki. In verse number 4. Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not a right in him, but the just shall live by his faith. Yet also, because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home. So the Lord says that the so-called white man, he doesn't keep at home, man. He invades everyone's land. What is the United States doing? Let me go back to it. Striking in another country, man. That's halfway in the so-called Middle East. Let me play this, and we're gonna go back to the precept. Salaki, bear with me. Salaki, bear with me. All right, Satan trying to take away the word. So while you sitting around sleeping, or a lot of brothers are sitting around sleeping, hey man, the so-called white man is putting hits out on the earth, man. Bombing countries. And a lot of this media is not going to show up on your 5 o'clock news. They're only going to show liquor store robberies, little Tanisha that just got killed. You know, it's going to show how Brian saved the cat out of a tree, and then how Mr. Wilson is 105 years old, man, and they're going to visit him. They're not going to show you certain things. So, like, let me see if I can get this to play.
My fellow Americans, on Saturday, at my direction, the United States successfully concluded an airstrike in Kabul, Afghanistan, that killed the emir of Al Qaeda, Ayman al-Zawahiri. You know, Zawahiri was bin Laden's leader. He was with him the whole time. He was his number 2 man, his deputy at the time. My fellow Americans, on Saturday,
at
my direction,
he should look at Saturday at my direction. Meaning Biden called this call, man.
The United States successfully concluded an airstrike in Kabul, Afghanistan, that killed the emir of Al Qaeda.
He said they did an airstrike. Let's look up airstrike meaning. An attack made by aircraft. So, I mean, this is America for you, man. This is World War III. All hell was about to break loose in the latter days of the earth. Does not the Lord literally prophesied about the airstrikes and about the locusts and about all of the ones of the air that are going to wage war? So Biden literally called an airstrike. And this man wasn't just your common Arab selling you backwoods at the liquor store. It was a man right over top.
Americans, on Saturday, at my direction, the United States successfully concluded an airstrike in Kabul, Afghanistan, that killed the emir of Al Qaeda, Ayman al-Zawahiri. You know, Zawahiri was bin Laden's leader.
So let's keep all of this in context. You literally have America that just put an airstrike on bin Laden's leader in Afghanistan. This war has been going all the way on since 2001. So they're already in war with the Dragons of Arabia. Because if you don't know about the Dragons of Arabia, which are called the Arab League, you have an Arab League, right, consisting of 22 members in the so-called Middle East. It's an Arab League. Now, if you go into war with Afghanistan, then you're going to war with all of them, huh? Right? They're not going to depart once from another. Now, I know I'm holding Habakkuk, but I want to get this other precept. Let me get this other precept through the Spirit. Because Ishmael was a wild man. And he's going to dwell amongst his brethren, like the scriptures say, man. So Arab League, they stick together, which are also known as the Dragons of Arabia. It's the book of Genesis, chapter 16, right? And verse number 12. And he will be a wild man. So America's just airstriked a wild man. Didn't the Lord say, travel not with a bold fellow? You don't want to travel with a wild man, a bold fellow, an angry fellow, and you just walking down the street with him because he could throw a rock at somebody, he could stab somebody, he could make war with anybody, and you got to deal with it. The same way, a lot of these leagues, hey, they don't want to bang with certain people, man, because they're bold. It says, and his hand is against and will be against every man. So that hand is definitely parabolically going to stretch back at America in due time. And every man's hand against him. And he shall dwell in the presence of all his brethren. So he's going to dwell in the presence of all his brethren. Afghanistan, Iraq, right? All of these different places, man, right? In the Middle East. So if they just put a strike out on him and he's dwelling in the midst of his brethren, they already have a military alliance called the Arab League with 22 members, then it's just a matter of time before they stretch back their hand with war, man. Let me go back to the book of Habakkuk. It's Habakkuk. And what if somebody came and killed Belinsky, right? Third in command under the so-called White House. What if somebody came and they took out Joe Biden? What if somebody came and took out a government official or an elected officer, man? America be in an uproar. It'll be World War III like that. But America is boldly airstriking and killing these people that are running their countries, that are in their governments, man. Don't think that America is going to continue to push and bully for so long before this place is destroyed, man. It says what? Verse 5. Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 5. Yet also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, talking about the so-called white man, who enlargeth his desires as hell, meaning he wants everything. Russia, he wants Ukraine. America, it wants to be allies with everybody and run the earth. It wants to sit undefiled, and is deaf, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. So who heaps and who has all these treasures and wants to take down and rule everything? America, the great chief city, man. Let's go to the book, right? Let me get this quick precept. In 2nd Chronicles, right? Chapter 16. This 2nd Chronicles, chapter 16. Because leagues are very important, as you read in the Bible. When you go inside the Bible and learn about different leagues, they were doing the same thing in the ancient world, man. Yeah, the ancient world, they had different leagues and things, and they bang with one another, right? And it's the same thing now. Nobody is just going to be by themselves in this wicked, abominable world, ruled by force and iron and weapons and guns and wars. It's the book of 2nd Chronicles 16 and 3. There is a league between me and thee. There it, Slakia, as there was between my father and their father. Behold, I have sent thee silver and gold. Go break thy league with Baasha, king of Israel, that he may depart from me. So that's in the ancient world, man. You literally had Asa trying to tell this king, you understand? Hey, look, break the league. Depart from him. You understand? That they be not more confederate one with another. You don't think these nations are going to do the same thing, man? You don't think this is a newly created thing upon the earth? Alliances, wars, confederacies, and leagues? No, this is in the ancient world. And had Benadad hearkened unto King Asa and sent the captains of his armies against the cities of Israel. What does it mean when they broke their league? They're going to break their league with America, man. You think these different nations are going to continue that are in NATO, that are the same predominantly nations that are in the EU, prophesied to destroy America, man? You got EU, then you got NATO. And then you got NATO, you got its members, then you got EU. I believe EU has about 27, right? I have to check on that. Right, real fast through the spirit. Yeah, 27 nations. And then you will have the NATO, which is have 30. You have 30, you got 27. Now within NATO's, all of its members, not every last one of them, but a lot of the members of NATO are the same members in the European Union. But nevertheless, you got NATO under Article 5 that those nations within NATO would fight with America if America goes to war. But then you have Revelation 17 telling you that the 10 horns are going to make war with the beast. So there has to be a breaking of alliance. It has to be a separation. It has to be a turning. It has to be a shifting. It has to be literally a breaking of the league. Let's go to the book of Revelation, the 17th chapter. And it was like that in the world, man. Even when you was in the world and you was a nigga, you had no understanding. Let you be cool in your little circle or at school, or you was a kid or whatever the case may be, and 3 kids out of your circle don't like you, right? Or 1 kid out of the circle don't like you. If he's the popular kid, a lot of those other kids will follow him and they will just not stop liking you too. You done lost friends for no apparent reason, because it can happen like that. You can have a set or whatever the case may be, or you can have friends. One of them start talking, they get in the ear of the other one. Now the other one's like, yeah, I really didn't never did like him. Yeah, he do owe me $5. You know what? He is always catching a bus. He never had a car. Next thing you know, hey, it's a beef out now. People acting different around you. People talking about you. It's murmurings. It's a separation. And even Jacob said, thy countenance is not as with me as before, talking about Laban. So you can see a countenance of somebody that was with you for a dispensation of time that separates from you. Let's read Revelation chapter 17. Right? And I'm going to start at, this whole thing is fire. 12. Right? It's the book of Revelation chapter 17 and verse number 12. And the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings. Right? You have the 10 kings, which are the EU, the original common market, which have received no kingdom as yet. It says as yet because it's going to reign 1 hour with the beast. They haven't received the kingdom as of yet. A kingdom means complete rulership on the earth. That's a kingdom being set up. We had a kingdom at one point. Israel ruled, like it says in the days of Solomon, 1 Kings chapter 4 and verse 20 all the way down. From sea to sea, Solomon reigned. And it was our kingdom for 40 years. And during the time of David, we took down all of these kings. As of yet, but received power as kings 1 hour with the beast. Right? 1 hour with the beast. 1 hour with America. Are they going to reign coincide? It says, these have one mind. Hold on, I'm going to read that again. These have one mind. And when you see things like league, one mind, confederacy, that's code word or a different word for alliances. They all come together. They have meetings. You have to kind of replace one mind and say, okay, well, they have one mind, and how do they talk? How do they have relationships? It's the UN meetings. It's these different things that they have in these secret councils. It says, and shall give their power and strength unto the beast. These shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them. For he is Lord of lords and King of kings, and they that are with him are called chosen, right, and faithful. Now, it says, and he saith unto them, the waters which thou sawest where the horse sitteth are peoples, multitudes, and nations, and tongues. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore. It said they shall hate the whore. Right now, right? Let's go into it real fast. And I'm going to see if I can pull this up. Check this out. It said that the EU is going to hate the whore, the 10 horns. Now, this is NATO's members. Check this out. If we could get it. I had to chase 1,000 links to get it. Now, I'm about to go into it. Bear with me for 2 seconds. Right? Now, this is under the NATO member countries. Now, who's along with NATO? Let's find out. Let me scroll all the way down. The United States is in NATO. Now, who else is in NATO? Right? You got the Netherlands. which is a part of the original 10 horns. You got the Netherlands. You got Luxembourg. So you got Luxembourg is a part of that too, and the European Union. You have Italy, also a part of the 10 horns. You have Greece, also a part of the 10 horns. West Germany, also a part of the 10 horns. France. Now, all of these are Confederate right now with the United States, but they're going to turn on it. You think these people care about the United States, man? If you're in a gang and you're so-called with the Crips, and the call is to go to war at any given time, if another Crip member or another blood or God knows what happens, if somebody's always in beef, I mean, every second of the day you get home from work, right? Get off from outside the streets, then the brother calling, yeah, we got to slide. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, we got to slide. You go out and slide, come back home the next day. It's 4 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, we got to slide. We got this, we got that. At some point, you're going to be like, man, this is a bold fellow. I can't travel with him. Lord said, travel not with a bold fellow. It's going to get excessive. In America, and so many people are going to hate America, and the whole earth is going to change and turn on her, that these people are going to depart from their titles and their confederacies. Now let's go to EU. EU's members, just to prove that. Check this out. France, Germany, Greece, Ireland, Italy, Netherlands, Luxembourg, the same exact nations that are cool with America right now, or in confederations with America right now. So what does that mean? Let's go back to Revelation. Matter of fact, let's hold this. Let's go to Obadiah. Did not the Lord say, all the men of thy confederacy have deceived thee? That doesn't just mean, oh, Esau, he just got deceived. No, man, that's deeper than it is. These scriptures get deep, man, because they coincide with history, archaeology, going into pharaohs and different bones and men and different things like that. It coincides with allies and alliances. It's the book of Obadiah, verse number 7. It says what? All the men of thy confederacy. Who's confederate with the United States? We just brought it out. Have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee. Who's at peace with America? The different alliances that coincide one for another. You have one that are in alliance with peace. The other prophesied to destroy America, which is in the Bible. Meaning what? The prophecy of Obadiah is going to come to pass, man. These nations are going to depart. With thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee, they that eat thy bread. What does it mean, they that eat thy bread, man? What does it mean, they that eat thy bread? When you come to somebody's house and eat your bread, then y'all one. Y'all, it's love. That's like a what's the word? It's like a damn pastime, man. Something to do. Yeah, come over Sunday dinner. Or come over, meet my boss. My boss can come over for dinner. Nah, the boss and you more cool. If somebody comes to your house and eats your bread and your food, and the Lord even said, they that eat my bread lay the wound against me, right? In the book of Psalms, talking about Judas Iscariot. In the book of First Kings, the 13th chapter, that man that was sent to do the work of the Lord, he turned back away and went into that man's house to eat his bread, and then he got destroyed. You understand? So if you eat somebody's bread, that means y'all cool. Let somebody invite you over for dinner. That could kind of mean something, right? You even got damn Jake off of Moesha, man. He always coming over in the morning. Damn Hakeem, eating up all the damn food, man. Right? It says, they that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him, man. So there's no understanding in Esau. You know how Jake, you kind of have some type of integrity or morals. You know, you kind of, nah, that's not right. Or you know what? I'll take the kid home. He's lost. That's not Esau's mind. Right? Let's go back to the world news. Check this out. Seizing up Taiwan. So Taiwan, right? You got China, at the bottom of China, Hong Kong, and literally 3 seconds away, you got Taiwan. Now, check this out. Many analysts believe that despite a huge discrepancy between the two sides, Taiwan's geographical terrain and the U.S. support mean China would have find a full-scale invasion of the island extremely hard and costly. It's going to be extremely hard. Now, check this out. This is Taiwan's faculties. You got an army base, you got an air base, and you got a naval base. So you have the army, which is the men on foot, right? They got the guns and the backpacks and they damn, grenades. Then you got the air base, which have airstrikes and they drop warheads. Then you have Navy base, which is the men in the ocean. You understand? And some of them have submarines that go under radar and they pop up under the coast. You had Russian spies on the coast of Florida all the way back in 2017, man. So Russia's all the way in America, underground in the damn ocean on the coast of Florida, man, at the damn beach. While people swimming and putting on their sunscreen, you got Russian spies at the bottom of the ocean in 2017. How much more now, man? Don't just look at the sea and see somebody riding on it and you think they're a pirate, man. This thing is deep, right? They shooting off missiles, they doing tests, and a lot of these different nations, they use these different terrains that they have for missile testings. So whether you're in the Indian Ocean, the Atlantic Ocean, or whatever ocean or terrain or jurisdiction that you're in, you'll use that for tests. And then you'll go out there and you'll test the missiles and see how far they travel. And they'll shoot them against, different territories. Taiwan air defense indication. So this thing could get deep, man. If all hell actually does potentially break loose soon, then it's going to be an all-out war. Because guess what? If Russia gets involved with China, which they're allies, then it could go down. You understand? If America, which just bombed Afghanistan with an airstrike, could go down, they're already Confederates with Russia. So the companies, the nations that hate America, all bang together. You have Russia, you have the Dragons of Arabia, you have China, right? In North Korea, man. Now, let me go into something else real fast. Now, if you didn't know, another thing that's going on in the earth, our companies are laying off the mass majority of the people. It's going to get hard as it is already finding jobs. It says it's happening. This is on End Time Headlines. It's happening. Here is a list of 11 big companies that have announced layoffs right within the last 2 weeks. So layoffs are happening, man. Inflation is rising. Gas prices are hiking and going up and down. Food is going up and down. Meat isn't on the shelves. It's going to get extremely hard, like 2 Esdras 6:22. The storehouses shall be found suddenly empty, man, like the scriptures say. It says, when the economy slows down, layoffs inevitably happens. So if the economic thing slows down, where is the economic thing to slow down? Economic trade. We just read how America is economy partners in economic and technology, trade, and medicine. If those things slow down with these different countries, then guess what? The nation is going to slow down. America's trade is going to slow down. America's technology is going to slow down. America's medicine is going to slow down. America's dollar and its spike and the stock market just crashed, man. If you didn't know it too. So the stock market's crashing. The old white man is sitting at his desk twirling around in that chair, man. Right, liking to be Mr. The man. Right, he's losing money, and that's making him angry. Like it says right here, businesses, rent, tax, work, right, struggling, got the government. It's going to get hard. You know what people are going to do? They're going to adapt to the beast. Because if the beast is feeding you, you have to understand, if you're the beast's child and you look up to the beast in America and it feeds you, it gives you your water, your drink, your food, your clothes, and everything, and you just put your faith in that and not the Lord. Because the Lord actually does that to you, man. But man is carnal. No, it's the man. I gotta adapt. The Lord set up the heathen, and then they start bugging out and start bowing down. When it's the Most High that gives you all of that, man. Did not the Most High set up Mordecai under the hand of the evening? But the Most High set up Mordecai. The Most High set up Joseph. The Most High set up Daniel. You understand? To be a president. The Most High set up all of these different men in these empires, not the heathens. The Most High bases the heathens and only uses them to afflict us and to glorify his name. You understand? Nevertheless, it says what? We witnessed this on a very large scale in 2008 and 2009, because that was a big recession in 2008 and 2009 that the nation has never seen. And now it is happening again. U.S. economy numbers are rapidly, right, getting worse. And companies all across America don't want to get caught with bloated payrolls as we plunge into a recession. Man. Now let's go down and see this thing, man. Electrical truck laid off 840 workers. You got 7-Eleven, with all of the Cushites in there, man. The big head Ethiopians, man. Right, that stare at you behind the desk all day. It says, has announced that they will be eliminating 880 corporate jobs. Spotify is laying off 1,000 people. Vietnamo says it will be eliminating 6% of its current workforce. Redfoof will be reducing the size of its workforce by 8%. Compass will be reducing the size of its workforce by 10%. RE Max will reduce its size, right, of its workforce by 17%. Robin Hood, Salakia, will be reducing the size of its workforce by 23%. It is being reported that Ford is preparing to cut as many as 8,000 jobs in the upcoming weeks. Right? We don't want to see that commercial built for it tough, man. It's a bluff. Right? You can't even afford to pay your workers. Now, if these million-dollar companies can't afford to pay their workers, what is that telling you, man? That people aren't getting paid anymore. People aren't putting their money in new cars anymore. People aren't putting their money in certain things anymore to have the company to start the crash. People aren't paying their bills. People are staying in apartments and ain't paying their rent. Money isn't being fluctuated and maneuvered all throughout the society as it once did at a common level to where you can sustain yourself. Now it's getting hard. Now, in order to bring more gas in, you got to hike the prices up for the rich elites to survive and things like that. It says, and Geico. It says Geico has closed every single one of their offices in the state of California, man. And California is humongous. And that will result in vast numbers of workers losing their jobs. So what's going to happen when you lose your job, man? What's going to happen when a famine kicks off and you don't have no food? You don't know what to do. You're by yourself. Your wife turned on you. Your husband turned on you. Your children ran away. You got carnal. You adapted to the beast, man. Because you know what? You needed that beast thing to survive. You needed that damn antidote. You needed to get drunk off of his philosophies for him to tell you that everything's going to be just fine. All you got to do is this. You telling me I could survive in a society? I could put food on my table, clothes on my back, gas in my tank. I can drive my car and sustain myself, but all I have to do is just get stick with this pen. Oh, okay. I mean, gotta survive. I mean, kind of weigh it, just balance it. Proverbs 11 and 1. You start going off, man. Your mind's not right. You start thinking and continuing and bowing down slowly to the beast. This is the time where we're entering into, man. Did not Mattathias took all of the brethren and led into the mountains to live? In First Maccabees chapter 2 and verse 27 all the way down, man. He didn't say, well, you know what? That's kind of figure this thing out. That's half of you stay here, and you throw the food over the fence, and the other half is going to catch it. No, they fled into the mountains, man. You may have to flee into the mountains. You may have to understand that it's going to get rough, man. This life that you live in with a rich refrigerator, a deep freezer, you understand? And a Wendy's on every corner is going to come to an end. Let's go to the book of Amos, chapter 4. It's the book of Amos, chapter 4, right? In verse number 7. It says, and also I have withholding the rain from you. So the Lord could withhold rain. You know, on a physical level, in the ancient world, you needed crops, you needed corn, you needed vegetables. You understand? You needed fruit. And the Lord will withhold the rain to cause it not to yield so that you can eat. What's the rain on a spiritual level, man? If the Lord isn't filling the economy, and it's not flourishing, the Lord cut that off. The Lord could turn that thing off and have men going crazy. When there was yet 3 months to the harvest, and I caused it to rain upon one city and caused it not to rain upon another city. So the Lord can have this city prospering, but this city not prospering. Have men losing their minds, catching trains, buses, trying to figure out where the food is, just like it was in ancient Egypt. One piece was rained upon, and the piece whereupon it rained not withered. So 2 or 3 cities wandered into one city to drink water, but they were not satisfied. Yet have ye not returned unto me, saith the Lord. I'm going to read that again. Yet have ye not returned unto me, saith the Lord. Because the Lord feeds you. He don't want to give you drink. He don't want to help you, man. Not the society, not the city. Because then you go run to that city and then the Lord cut it off. Then you run to the next city and the Lord cut it off. Then you run to the next city and the Lord cut it off. When are you going to understand that it's not the city that yielded the fruit? That it wasn't the man that sat there with that plow and that fidget and that swan and that sickle to bring forth the harvest, man. It was the Most High God, man. Through the rain, through the soil, through his omnipotency, through the spirits that he has created to move the elements, man. These are the different things that are going to yield for fruit for man to enjoy and to be able to be saved in days to come. Not any man. Man can't save you, man. Don't put your trust in a man. It's the book of Joel, chapter 1. We don't put our trust in a carnal man. It's the book of Joel, right? And I'm going to start at verse. This whole thing is fire. I'm going to start at verse 7. This whole thing is fire. I'm going to start at 10. It's the book of Joel 1 and 10. The field is wasted. Now, did not the Lord say in Matthew chapter 13, verse 38, that the field is the world? The field is the world. The Lord said the world's wasted, man. This place isn't going to continue to flourish much longer. How much more the field of America? The field is wasted. The land mourneth. So as inflation arises, the land is going to start to mourn and everybody in it. People are going to start getting antsy. You know that dipping buffalo sauce that you used to have? And that crispy chicken that was patted and dipped in it was rolled in a dipping batter. Then it was rolled in a flour. Then it was rolled back in the dipping flour. Then it was hit with grandmama's secret sauce. Then it was thrown gently and soft into the damn oil, man. And then it had the luxury to sizzle until it was come to a perfect crisp. Then you take it out. You place it on that buttermilk bread, man. That has that nice crisp on it, man, with all of the butter laying on top of it. And then you decorate it. You put your little tomato, your pickle. You may put a little extra sauce. Them days are over, man. You're not going to be able to do that anymore. You'll be happy if you find corn hanging on a damn sheaf in a field, man. These are the days that are going to come upon the earth. Or are you going to bow down and fit in and damn stick yourself 19 times and drink this and drink this potion and whatever comes to mind, take it and bow down just to have a Babylonian garment on your back and defile food amongst the Gentiles, man. This isn't our rest. The field is wasted, the land mourneth, for the corn is wasted. The new wine is dried up, the oil languish. Be ye ashamed, O ye husbandmen. Who are the husbandmen? What do husbandmen do? They make sure that the field and the crops are in order. Now, who are the husbandmen on a spiritual level? On the left-hand side, the so-called white man. That's your modern day men with the trucks, your modern day giants, the things that keep this society flourishing, which is the garden, which is the field, right? And the Lord said, how are ye husbandmen? You're not going to bring forth any fruit in this world, man. Chiefly in America. How? Ye vineyard dressers, for the wheat and for the barley, because the harvest of the field is perished. Who brings forth the harvest? The Most High God brings forth the harvest, and it's going to perish. The vine is dried up. So that vine is double to that which is. It's not always talking about food, man. We're a vine as a people. We flourish. You understand? You can read about that in the book of Psalm chapter 80. We're that vine that came up out of Egypt. You can read about that in Isaiah chapter 5 verse 7. Judah is his plant, his pleasant vine. You understand? So it says the vine is dried up. This society is going to dry up, and all of the fruit that it yields forth, the gas stations, the different stores, this economy is going to go down very, very, very slowly, and then it's going to happen immediately like a thief in the night with a big bomb. It says, and the fig tree languish, the pomegranate tree, the palm tree also, and the apple tree, even all the trees of the field are withered, because joy is withered away from the sons of men. Check this out. So the Lord is not playing no games, man. If you're not on fire, then the Lord isn't going to save you. Evidently, in a matter of time, you're going to do exactly what it is. And let me pull this back up. Let me see. Where was that at? There we go. Well, all of these workers are losing their jobs in America. And America is slipping slowly into a recession. Recession is just a key word for inflation. It's a key word for leading into Jacob's trouble, man. It's leading into the days to come to where everything that we read about will be fulfilled, man. And it's going to be extremely hard, right? Let's go to the classic. Let's go to the book of Amos. Hey, man, you may ask yourself, you may feel like you got a good job, man. You may blink and your company's doing layoffs. I mean, for real, if we're still here, where do you think you're going to be in the next 5 years? Where are you going to be at in the next 10 years? God forbid we're still here. Do you think that it's going to be the way it is, man? You're going to have a lot of people living with their parents, a lot of people living with their family members. This is going to come to days to come where the apartment building may not have you to be able to lease in an apartment building or come in it unless you're so-called fitting into the society with certain cards and certain things, man. Because we don't want you to affect our customers and our clients and our residents. You understand? So don't think this thing is only just going to be with the workplace or a grocery store. It's going to start inching up to grocery stores, places where you live, and you're going to find yourself a pilgrim, man, by yourself in this world. It's going to be hard to shop. It's going to be hard to do any and everything, man, in this thing, man. Right? Let me get to it. But that's when it truly comes in with faith. That's when you know you have faith in Yahweh. Because the wicked, they reap the good of the world. You understand? Because this is their rest. While we reap hardship and pain until it's time for it to be fulfilled, for us to bring forth fruit and inhabit the earth. This is 2nd Esdras 6:22. And suddenly, right, shall the sown places appear unsown. The full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty, man. Suddenly be found empty. It didn't say Very, very slowly. It means suddenly. That's the book of Ecclesiastes, man. Chapter 12, where the sound of the grinding is low. And the workers and establishments and things like that, they all come down to an end. Let's go to the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 12. Right? It's the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 12, and verse, right? Number 3. It says, in the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few. The grinders are the men that work in a society. When you go to work, you see the men on the side of the road, right? They got their hat on, they building up the cities. They're the grinders. Like a clock has the grind and hit the other links for it to turn that big hand and that little hand. They have to all work together. Everything has to work. The truck man has to come dump the trucks early in the morning with the bread. Then the people that work at the store, they got to place the bread on the shelves. Then the people that come in the shop, now they have to pick the bread. Then they have to go to the counter. Everybody is using somebody. Everybody has a job to keep the society going, flourishing with money, flourishing. You understand, with currency. But the grinders are going to cease because they are few. What does it mean they are few? If you don't have a lot of hands helping you in a society, then it's going to crumble. Now, if these societies in these different places in these cities don't have any workers, then the grinding is going to get few, meaning a lot of things are going to slowly stop happening that you have the luxury of having. Now I don't know where brothers and sisters live now, but I mean, you don't even see movie theaters like that anymore. They're closing down because that's a luxury to go to the movie theater. You don't see pool places or damn bowling alleys or whatever else there is, man. Because these things are slowly shutting down. Man. You don't see kids on Russes and Radio Shacks, and these things are going out of business because nobody has the luxury to do certain things anymore, man. Food is a demand, clothes is a demand, gas is a demand. Your money, as things get tight, are going to start getting into a demand state. They're not going to get into a luxury state, man. Nobody's thinking about going to Hawaii, man. Okay, do I 2-bedroom or 3-bedroom? What do you say, honey? No, man, nobody cares about that, man. It says, and those that look out the windows be darkened, man. So that thing is going to get dark. And the doors shall be shut in the streets. So, I mean, if you ever came to the so-called Baltimore Harbor and you seen the videos, it used to be a H&M behind this. Well, it still is. But that thing is shut down. It was a so-called wicked, abominable place called Bubblegum Shrimp. 50 to 100 feet from us. They shut that place down. It used to be a mall flourishing, right? With Johnny Rockets and God knows what. They shut those things down. So the doors of the streets are starting to be shut down. It says, when the sound of the grinding is low, and he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low. The daughters of music is everybody dancing right now, dancing to the spiritual beat of Esau, dancing to the spiritual demon Satan. They just dancing, getting drunk, turning up, partying, going to clubs, and doing God knows what. It says, and the daughters of music shall be brought low. So all of the sorceries and the men playing these things and timbrels that have everybody seduced is going to be brought down low. And the people are going to wake up out of a damn trance that they've been in from being in Babylon. They're going to look around and say, what the hell is going on? I thought the beast was everything to admire and look up to bow down to. Now this thing is coming down and being brought down low now. Also, when they shall be afraid of that which is high, and fear shall be in the way, and the almond tree shall flourish, and the grasshopper shall be a burden, and desire shall fall. Right? It said the almond tree shall flourish, and the grasshopper shall be a burden, and desire shall fall. Now the grasshoppers, they can eat it up, just like the locusts. Like you read about, I believe that's Amos, the 8th chapter. All right, let me get this real fast, making sure. Salaki, the 7th chapter. It's Amos 7. I got the Bible right here. Amos 7 and verse 1. Thus saith the Lord God, shew unto me, and behold, he formed grasshoppers in the beginning of the shooting up of the latter growth, and lo, it was the latter growth after the king's mowing. And it came to pass that when they had made an end of eating the grass of the land, then I said, O Lord God, forgive, I beseech thee. By whom shall Jacob arise, for he is small? So what do grasshoppers, man, do? They eat up the land. It's going to be a burden on the land. Now, that doesn't mean that the Lord's going to send down physical grasshoppers and XYZ, but nevertheless, things are going to eat away from this society. The grass that used to shoot up is going to start getting cut down. The desire shall fail because men shall goeth to his long home, and mourners go about the streets. So when you're mourning the streets, you're likely to do what? Rob, steal, wonder, loiter, be a vagabond. These are the things that are going to come shortly upon the earth, man. Let me read the latter end of that. Right? Salaki, bear with me. Geico, one of the largest insurance companies in the United States, reportedly closed all 38 of its California offices on Monday, resulting in hundreds of workers being laid off. So, I mean, if you're not watching, you got prices of gas going up, then going spiking down, then they shooting back up. Meaning, if you came into a store and they showed, I don't know, lotion for $4, then you came in next week, it was $8. Then you came in and it was $4. Then you came in and it was $8. The economy is unstable. Their prices and their source to where they're getting it and how they're making it and their workers is going up and it's going down. And this thing is getting unstable, man. And you could understand that. You got inflation, you got jobs being laid off, and things being implemented to get certain jobs that are going to continue to, if not grow, get worse. You understand? You got China and Taiwan. China try to take over Taiwan's territory as an independent country. You have Russia and Ukraine still going on. It's not going to stop. And you have the so-called president of the United States just sent the airstrike to Afghanistan, man. So these are the things that are going on within the earth right now. And don't just look, and just see, Belinsky. She got on a plane. Did she get off? Who knows? Maybe end time headlines will tell me the next couple of days. No, brother. Search, look, understand, because this creates fear. This creates the fear of the Most High. You understand how the Most High always working, Most High always killing, Most High always destroying and taking down the society and building this up just to break it back down. And you can see how the Most High's works are going on, man. The Lord never stops working. The Most High never rests, man. It's parabolic. Because if he rests, all spirits will fall. The grass wouldn't move and the air wouldn't blow. His incorruptible spirit is in all things, like it says in Wisdom of Solomon 12:1. So remember that the Most High is having his prophecies, you understand, go and come to pass every day upon the earth, and continue to watch. But with that, I'm about to close out with this last precept. Revelation chapter 3 and verse number 2. And it reads, remember therefore how thou hast received and heard, and hold fast. So the Lord is commanding you to hold fast. Hold fast to everything you've ever learned, understood, the Lord woke you up to. You understand the knowledge that you possess, the wisdom that was given to you. Hold fast to it, man. Right? A lot of people, they get weary, they forget, their mind isn't stable, and they make lewd and wicked and off judgments and decisions predicated off of this society, man, and how it's moving. Don't move with the society. Move with the spirit. You understand? It says, and hold fast and repent. If therefore thou shalt not watch, meaning if you're not watching, which is a commandment, I will come on thee as a thief, and thou shalt not know what hour I will come upon thee. Because like any good man with any understanding, if it's going to rain, you get an umbrella. You wear a raincoat. You wear a jacket because you prepared yourself. and therefore you're not as wet as you would be if you had no understanding when you came outside. The same way, you can prepare for what's going on the earth, not on a physical level, but on a spiritual level. You read accounts of wisdom, you read accounts of famines, you read accounts of all of these different confederacies. You understand that as it was before, so shall it be again, just like the scriptures say. It says, and I will come unto thee as a thief, and thou shalt not know what hour I will come upon thee. So continue to watch, pray, be on fire, steadfast, and endure, and magnify the name of the Lord in the last days. And with that, I want to give all honor and glory to the Most High God, Yahweh, by Shema Mashiach Malak Yahushua. Shalom.